The desert, a place where the sun scorches by day and the darkness swallows everything by night. It's a land of silence, secrets, and unforgiving isolation. But what if I told you that sometimes it's not the heat or the wild animals you should fear? It's the things you can't explain, the things that wait in the shadows. These are three very real, very terrifying desert horror stories, and they're not for the faint of heart. If you're brave enough, let's begin. Story 1. The Man in the Sand. Our first story comes from a man named Eli, a long-haul truck driver who found himself stranded in the Mojave Desert late one night. Eli was transporting goods from Los Angeles to Phoenix, a route he'd driven dozens of times. He preferred the night shift, less traffic, cooler air, but this night felt different. The desert stretched endlessly under a moonless sky, and his radio had gone completely silent. No chatter, no static, nothing. About 2 a.m., Eli's rig suddenly lost power. No lights, no engine, everything dead in the middle of nowhere. He stepped outside with a flashlight trying to check the engine. That's when he saw it. A figure, maybe 50 feet away, standing perfectly still in the sand. It was a man, or at least it looked like one. Barefoot, thin, and impossibly tall. The flashlight's beam barely reached him, but Eli could see he was wearing what looked like old, tattered clothes. His face was pale, almost glowing. Eli called out, thinking it might be someone in trouble. But the man didn't move. Instead, he smiled. Eli's blood turned cold. The figure slowly raised an arm and pointed directly at him. Without warning, the truck's engine sputtered back to life. Lights flickered on. Eli jumped back into the cab and slammed the door. But before he could hit the gas, he looked back. The man was now inches from the driver's side window. Eli floored it, speeding into the blackness, not stopping until he reached the next gas station miles away. When he told the station attendant what happened, the old man went pale. "You saw him," the attendant said. "You're lucky he let you leave." Locals call him the Man in the Sand, a desert spirit, a harbinger of death for travelers who stray too far into the darkness. Story 2. The Abandoned Station. This next story comes from a woman named Carly, who made a terrible mistake while on a desert road trip with her boyfriend. Carly and Jason had been driving through Nevada, exploring ghost towns and taking photos of old crumbling structures. It was supposed to be a fun adventure. Late in the afternoon, they realized they were low on gas, but hadn't seen a station in over an hour. Finally, they spotted an old, run-down gas station just off the highway. No signs of life, no working lights. Against her better judgment, Jason pulled in. The pumps were ancient, the kind with rolling numbers and rusted handles. As Jason tried to see if they worked, Carly noticed something strange. The door to the station's small building was open. Inside, the shelves were stocked with dusty cans and faded newspapers from the 1970s. It was like the place had been frozen in time. Then Carly heard it. A soft tapping sound coming from behind the counter. She stepped closer, calling out. And that's when she saw them. Two pairs of pale, glassy eyes peeking from beneath the counter, their faces sunken, their skin gray and cracked like old leather. The figures moved impossibly fast, scrambling to their feet, limbs too long, mouths open in silent screams. Carly ran, screaming for Jason, but Jason wasn't at the truck. The pumps were still, the engine off. And in the distance, she saw Jason being dragged toward the desert by more of those things. Carly ran. She ran until her lungs gave out, eventually flagged down by a passing car on the highway. No one ever found Jason. No records existed of that gas station ever being there. And Carly, she never went near the desert again. Story 3. Whispers in the Dunes. Our final story comes from a soldier named Marcus, stationed at a remote military base near the Arizona border. During a night training exercise, Marcus was separated from his unit. The radio signal was weak, and in the pitch-black desert, everything looked the same. As he tried to find his bearings, Marcus heard something strange. Faint whispers, like a crowd of people murmuring all around him. But no one was there. He turned his flashlight on, scanning the area. Nothing. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw something move. A figure. Then another. Dark, human-like shapes shifting between the dunes. They never came too close, but they circled him, following. The whispers grew louder, forming words in a language he couldn't understand. Terrified, Marcus fired his weapon into the darkness, but the figures vanished like smoke. He sprinted back toward the base's beacon light in the distance. Once inside the perimeter, everything stopped. No sounds, no figures, just empty desert. When he told his commanding officer, the older man sighed. "We don't do night patrols for a reason," he said. "This land belongs to them now." To this day, Marcus swears what he saw was real. Shadows of something ancient, something older than the desert itself. The desert may seem barren and lifeless, but as these stories prove, it's far from empty. In the silence, the shadows move. The old spirits wake, and the darkness hides things we were never meant to see. If you ever find yourself alone out there, with nothing but the endless sand and sky, remember this: some places are meant to stay untraveled. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. There are many more horrors waiting to be told.